Hey everyone, welcome to Runong. We've got episode 8 today. Our next guest is a good friend of mine and is someone that I look up to. He's one of the few people that I know that doesn't get called by his real name. And he's part of the infamous Boys Night Out. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Slick Rick.
Hey, yeah, man. Yeah, it's a real bell, by the way. So,
So nasa'yo pala yung iconic bell na yan.
well, yeah, it's with me. I just bought a new one. Well, I've had this since the whole pandemic started, but it's usually Sam that handles it. But I think we've gone through like three or four bells through the years. I think one of them got stolen. That was the other one. It just really broke. And yeah, it so I've always been the one to maybe buy a new one, but Sam is usually the one holding it.
Stole it, bro. Baka next
Yeah,
thing next thing you know, pare, bigla na lang may mag-auction. The bell of
well,
Boys Night Out.
we had that one, and then we had the pot pot horn. I think Tony has that one. So
Yeah. Pero
so
astig, no?
there.
At least yun nga, it's real. Like, it's real
Yeah, it's
props,
real.
man. It's not like parang a file, an audio file lang that you... Well, pwede naman din, but that's
Well,
cool.
but then there's no it's not instant. Of
Yeah,
course, you still have to trigger it, and then of course it'll play late
sure.
if you're not that quick. But it's part of the show, so everyone's just amazed that hey, it's a real bell. But thanks for inviting me, man.
Oh, thanks for
It,
making time, man. It's an honor to have you here. I've known
hey,
you
man.
for quite some time.
Yeah,
In the
known
early
for a
days
while.
of ano pa, no, of BNO, and life was pretty different
Yes,
for both of us.
very different, very single at that. But it is what it is. I mean, changing times, we do change, and
Yeah.
yeah, look, we're here.
Yeah, man. So what have you been busy with the world upside down?
Just been busy with Boys Night Out. We do that Monday and Thursdays, 5 to 7 in the evening, and then after that, I do go to the station. I do board twice a week, and this is I board like on a different time slot. So I'll go like 12 noon on a Thursday to 3 p.m. or 2 p.m. Usually till 2 p.m. is because I still have to drive home and reach Boys Night Out on a Thursday. And then Fridays, I do 9 a.m. to 12 noon. So it's just my way to help the station. I mean, it's not only for the station, not only for us, but it's also for the people that work for the station. I guess the office workers, the technicians. Is that if maybe advertisers hear us, see us there, they'll be like, oh, okay, we can put money into them, and then obviously that'll go into not only our salaries but everyone, the office's salary. So that's kind of like my contribution.
Yeah.
And then aside from radio, do the online hostings once in a while. Have not done in-person hosting yet.
Mm.
But if it comes, it comes. And then also I do NBA on Fire with
Yeah.
Susie.
Doon ako yung get, bro. Anything
Yeah,
NBA, man. Like,
yeah, that's it's pretty trippy
yeah.
to actually be working with the NBA. So I do that. Actually, that's what keeps me busy majority of the week,
Mm.
is that I just have to, well, it's not even a job. It's just really watching games just to see who's had an awesome game, who, what team is doing well.
And kasi diba, like, I subscribe to League Pass, diba? And there are games wherein it's the ex-players. Like, nung minsan, it was Jamal Crawford, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
Diba? So would you have that kind of chance too, man? I mean, eventually, would you call
I
a game?
Well, it's because I mean, I have to give it up to NBA Philippines, is
Mm.
because NBA Philippines is also, I mean, they're producing a lot of local content for the NBA, and they have so many ideas, and you never know. You never know. I mean, could be maybe down the line when we can do that. But we've talked about other shows that they've been open to, and that's what I have to give up to the NBA is that they're very forward thinking. They're like, okay, let's see if that'll work. Let's try to figure out, okay, what can we do. But yeah, I think maybe eventually something like that will happen. Is that where you'll have like the influencer feed. So that's the one that you're watching, the influencer
Yeah.
feed, and maybe I mean if they can kind of localize it or for Asia. So
Yeah.
we'll see what that's about. So
Ang
it's
sarap no kasi I know you're a big like sports fan talaga. You follow a lot of sports. I always see it on your feed. So
yeah.
I mean like to see you do these things, I'm like, shit, sarap no. Parang yun nga,
Uh,
it's work, but it's not really work. I mean, there's that
yeah.
component because like I'm sure when you're writing the script because you know a lot about basketball, man, you really follow it. So in a
Mhm.
sense, I don't imagine you getting stuck so much, right? On like what are you gonna talk
I
about?
I think where I get stuck is my first two sentences of a player or a team or game of the week is how am I going to how am I going to start it? So literally I will sit at my computer and then I will just sit there and I'll just like, okay. And I'll probably write maybe 10 or 12 starts and then until I feel like, okay, is because for some odd reason is I can already see the middle of the story. I can see the end of the story. I just can't see the first part of the story. Um, so it's not I've thank God that I've never gotten writer's block, but I think that's the process where it takes me the longest is just really starting the main body of say the highlights. So if I'm just stuck or if I'm just like, okay, I don't like what I've written, I'll just, stand up, you know, just get something in the fridge, drink some water, eat some chips or something, and then come back to it. And then okay, I'll come back fresh. And I mean, it it came at a right time because I guess when the whole pandemic was starting, that's when we did when I kind of got the call from a friend that I kept in touch with from the NBA. And funny is his name is Warren. Uh, so so is because I met Warren. He used to work for the NBA, and he was their cameraman. And then I'd meet him here when he'd be in the Philippines for say when any NBA guy came here, so he'd be the one following. And then when we went to China, which was a super trip, um, is that's the first time that they said, "Hey, we want to take you to China, uh, catch the who is it Dallas, and to catch the Sixers
Mm,
in Shanghai." So we said yes, obviously. And when we went there, that was the rookie year of Luca,
mm,
last year of Dirk,
yeah.
and it was such a trip. Is because I went with Tony. I was with also Susie and friends from Ogilvy. So it was super nice, and saw Warren there, and then it was supposed to just be like a one weekend thing,
Yeah.
but then they go, oh, by the way, could you go to our next one in Shenzhen? Is because there's room and we need someone to cover. So me and Susie were like, yeah, we'll
Yeah.
go.
For
Yeah,
sure.
we'll go. And that was nice. I mean,
Yeah.
just given that whole opportunity of just being on an NBA floor, for
Yeah,
example,
man.
like for pregame when they're doing the scrum or when they're doing the practices, is that you just don't realize how much freedom reporters have to these, how much access that you have to these
Mm,
players. Is that what when they were like Warren was telling me is like, oh, once they hit the floor, once coach says go, everyone just go to the players that you want to talk to. And I was just so amazed that it's like, wow. And then
ganun lang yun? I mean, you just talk, like, come up to anybody and, like, talk to
yeah.
them? Nice.
And they're pretty okay,
Yeah.
because I guess maybe our advantage is because we were speaking English. So
Mm,
because majority is Chinese media, so they would just be waiting for what you would be asking,
sure, sure.
and then they would just get their story from that. And then so that was pretty cool. That was a nice experience. And then just getting kind of a one-on-one with Luca, because he was coming from practice, and then Warren says once his leg touches the seat, ask him a question. And so I was able to kind of get a one-on-one with him. So
Nice.
that was nice. I mean, it was such a great experience. And then after that, you know, I thought, okay, that would be the last time I'd be working with the NBA. And then I guess when the pandemic was starting, I think they were trying to find some content. Warren, he contacted me. He's like, hey, this is what we want to do. So he put the team together along with Susie, and he's like, okay, this is what I want to produce. This is something that's never been done here, within the Asia region. So this is my idea. And we're like, okay. It was tough at first, but after maybe the first 5 episodes, we kind of got the flow. And then from there, we just took it and ran. And the guys from NBA Hong Kong, they were happy with it. And then I think they also uh, shipped it to Australia, New Zealand, Japan, and it was nice. I mean, just getting that, and then obviously it's that you get that sense of fulfillment of, okay, this is my hard work. And then you see it on YouTube here, obviously, because you get the taglish version here in the Philippines. And it's just a trip just to see the whole thing come
Yeah.
about. And I thought that was it, but then they came back to like, hey, we're starting a new season again, let's do it. So we're like, yes.
NBA Finals, bro. Shit.
Mm, I wish. Well, that,
Yeah.
that's that, that that's something that we've thrown around
Sure.
plainly with the guys from the NBA. Like, when you can, yeah, we'll make it happen.
Yeah.
So hey, keep our fingers crossed that everyone will get vaccinated, or it'll be under control, or we'll have some kind of pill it'll be like a Tylenol or
Yeah.
Biogesic or something. Then like, okay, I'm
So, like, I mean, you shared, of course, what you're doing now, and of course, NBA, and that's great. Is there something else, like, that's been good for you or that's happened to you this pandemic, like a blessing in disguise?
I think it really is. For example, like say the NBA, when that came in, I was kind of at a point where, because we were losing jobs, hosting jobs, we were losing
Mm,
things that were planned. So I was just like, oh no, where am I gonna find this amount
mm,
that was just poof gone. And I did have those sleepless nights, just thinking like, oh man, it looks bleak. You just can't have one source of income. And it really got to me. So that's why I was thankful when the NBA came in, is that it gave that it gave that buffer,
mm,
that okay, at least I know that I will have a job. I will get paid. I have to give it up, as they pay quickly.
yeah,
um
nice.
and it's very, very, very well compensated for what you're doing. So that's what I'm super happy about. So I was really blessed with that. But I also think that just being home is something that I when I look back at it, I really appreciate it, is because Archer, when the whole pandemic was, he's 3. And if the pandemic never happened, I'd probably be busy, especially with the hostings, Boys Night Out, whatever. And I wouldn't have seen him grow up as he is. And I I was like, okay, this is nice. This is nice
Yeah.
to have this time that he sees me at home. He sees what I'm doing. We have more than enough time to play. And it was nice that you really did have that family time. It was a super blessing. And also just being home with Doc, my wife, and also my parents. So it was nice. And also just blessed with that we have this technology to do everything that we're doing now. Because imagine, like, if we didn't have it, like say 10 years back, oh man, it probably would have gone crazy, super crazy.
Yeah.
And yeah, so that's what I'm thankful for, super happy for. And yeah, that
Yeah.
I look back like, wow, thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same with me, man. Like, kasi diba si Elias is 2.5 now. So, he was born, yun nga, well, April siya ng 2019. Tapos, of course, 2020, yun na eh, pandemic na, right? So, talagang,
Mm,
with my eldest, of course, I had work, right? I went to Makati every single day. I'd leave, hindi pa siya gising. I'd come home, dinner time, pagod na ako, stress na ako, mainit na yung ulo ko, right? I mean,
mm,
typical. Tapos now, work from home ever since nag-start yung quarantine or yung lockdown. And yeah, man, ako talaga, yun nga, you're right, man. Yung time with family, yung time with the kids, no? Like, I didn't realize that I was missing so much pala.
mm. True.
Because, like, now with Elias, kasi syempre he's 2, right? So, you could really see, like, how he develops or how he progresses. Like, from few words, tapos now full sentence in conversation na with his older brother.
Mm,
And I'm like, shit, man. I would have missed all of this, right?
yeah.
If walang pandemic. I mean, in a selfish way, right? Na parang, hindi, okay na rin to. Okay din to kasi. And now, the best part is like, at least for our jobs, nakita that we can actually do this
Mm-hmm.
na, well, mobile, right?
Yes.
And I think it's gonna be a hybrid future, like with work, no. But yeah, man, it works. It can be done. It doesn't like sa amin. It doesn't. Dati kasi pare old school eh, 'di ba? Parang kailangan nandun ka, kita ka eh. Yun yung
Mm.
sign na nagtatrabaho ka pag nakaupo ka sa cubicle mo, or ba, 'di ba? But
Uh,
but now, like, hey, we're actually not doing bad, man. I mean, we're doing
yeah.
pretty good.
Plus,
So
companies are saving a lot
yeah,
in.
that's true. That's another thing, right? From rental spaces, from like everything,
Hmm.
everything.
Yep.
So yeah, it's nice,
So
man. Hmm.
it's nice in a way, because just imagine, like, say a few years from now, when say everything is okay, we have a cold pill for COVID. And and when you look back, maybe say your son or your wife would say, hey, you remember that time when we were all just home? And it would just be fun memories that, yeah, that will always be remembered. I don't think at any point in time in our lifetime that this is ever going to happen. And it's just nice to look back on. And also with the whole technology, it's nice is because you can connect with friends, you can connect with people that maybe you've never met up with, or you just have like a common um like or interest. Like, for example, like basketball cards. If you'll always find a group, or you'll find like maybe a fantasy basketball group. And it'll forge friendships that in other times that you'd probably never meet this person. You
Tama.
probably wouldn't interact with this person. But with this happening, it's just like, okay, you open up your circle to more people. You open up, okay, there's more possibilities outside of my circle.
Yeah.
And it makes you realize, like, okay, to open up more,
Yeah.
and just be ready.
What were you like, bro? I mean, like, again, like now you're talking about being more open. Like, obviously, we're more mature now, and we've got family, so we've got a much wider perspective and outlook in life. But How would you describe yourself when you were a kid, man? I mean, you've always, like, to me, ha, the way I know you, you've always been the quieter one, right?
Yeah.
Parang ikaw yung ano eh, actually ikaw yung sneaky eh. Parang alam mo yun, parang, ano ba kaya iniisip nito? Parang alam mo up to no good eh. Parang ganun. But you were always, yun nga, well, compared to Sam, right? And compared to
Yeah.
Tony, you were the quieter one. Have you always
Uh,
been that way? Ano bang
I've I've always been that way. The reason why is because I'm an only child. I did have a brother. I did have a younger brother, but he passed away when he was about a month old,
okay.
and I was like maybe 5 or 6. He passed away from SIDS, sudden infant death syndrome. And at that time is that that's when they used to lie the baby flat on
Yeah.
their
Yeah.
chest. So that happened, but
Shit.
I was just always the quiet one. The reason why is, I guess, I'd like to keep my thoughts to myself. My daddy was in the military. He was a instructor in the Navy. My mom, obviously, she was a nurse. So the whole typical Filipino American family. And I'd just be the one to go home alone after school. I wouldn't say much when I'm in class. I'd keep my circles kind of closed. The reason why is because uh since my dad was in the military, I knew that we'd probably move like every 3 years. So yeah, US Navy. So you kind of understood. Okay, they're your friends for now, but then just give it 2 3 years later, you're just gonna leave anyways. Um, and I think my dad, he kind of picked that up. That all throughout the years of us moving, that he saw that I didn't have a lot of friends that I kept. So what he decided is that his last tour of duty was in San Diego. So he said that if we could stay there 4 or 5 years so that I could finish high school, and at least I'd have some friends. And with those friends, I mean, I keep in touch with them obviously by Facebook. So when they see what I do, they're kind of amazed at my job. I don't know if you call it a job because it's just really just messing around with friends, but it's they're like, "You're a DJ?" I'm like, "Yeah." They're like, Is this what is it? Do you spin?" I'm like, "No, I'm radio DJ." They're like, "Oh, okay, so you talk."
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, we talk." So I guess the easiest example is it's like a Ryan Seacrest kind of show, big boy show, and they're like, "Wow." And it was, I guess, also that's where I get my thoughts correct. Is that I'm a good listener. I'll end up just being a good listener so that I can think about, okay, what am I going to say next? When is it my turn to talk? Or am I going to pick up something that they may not have noticed that we could talk about? I'm there was always that running joke is you'd always find me in the mall, which was true, is because I live in BF
Yeah.
Paranaque, and then I'd have to go all the way to Paragon. So just to kill time, I'd really be in the mall, but I'd also just be in the mall to listen to other people's conversations.
Really?
Yeah, not in a creepy way, but I'd just be walking. I'll pick up on maybe something that people are talking about, something that interests them, or maybe just something that may be kind of boring to others, but then you can make it into a big topic. So that's where we pick up most of our topics on air before. So that would just be my thing. Or I eat lunch alone, or a late lunch alone, and then just listen to what people are talking, because not everyone will eat alone here.
Yeah. Yeah.
They'd feel uncomfortable. But for me, just being an only child, I think it's something that I was used to. It's something that I was used to growing up, just really eating alone. So that's why
Yeah.
I was always quiet. But I did like to play sports, so that was more of my outlet. And I guess it was also my upbringing with my dad is that he'd always say like if you like what everyone says is that if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything at all.
Yeah.
So I mean, we always have those stupid thoughts, but I just like to keep them to myself.
Mm.
I mean, I'm not gonna say it out loud. I'm not gonna put it out on Twitter. I'm not gonna put it out on Instagram. I'd just rather keep it to myself.
Yeah.
So yeah, I've always been that one quiet kid.
Mm.
But with a lot of ideas. So
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
guess that's
It's
my
it's
thing.
it's interesting na yun nga, quiet tapos you talk for a living, man. So I'm sure
Yes.
your friends are like, "What? When
Yeah,
did that
like
happen? Like when did things change?"
they're like, no, we can't believe it. I mean, I've sent them like old video of Boys Night Out. They're like, oh my gosh, this is what you do. It's like it's so not you, but yeah, it's weird. It's weird though. Is I guess it may be an only child thing. So maybe I'm just wanting to talk. So now I'll
Yeah.
just talk now for the past 20 plus years.
Making up for lost time, man.
True,
Yeah.
true, true.
How
Just
did you
gotta hit the.
discover radio ba? Like you started what,
Um,
2000? Ano pang like
I started 2001.
okay. Oh, 20
Started 2000.
years.
Yep, it's been 20 years. So what happened was I did my OJT at the station.
Mm.
So when you're just doing OJT, it's just really you're doing office work, answering the phone, you're stamping movie tickets, and at that time, the person running the junior jock program, which before it used to be known as Campus Patrol, Crystal, she says, "Hey, you speak well. Um, do you want to try to go on air?" I was like, "Yeah, okay, sure." And then I'd sit in the booth with say Tina Ryan, and she was actually the first one to put me on air. Because when I was doing the OJT thing before joining the junior jock thing, I would do her commercial log. I'd log what time she'd play a commercial, and then she it was funny is because I was sitting next to her, across her, and she hands me a card. She's like, "You know how to read?" I was like, "I'm in college." I think I do. I think I've made it this far. I, then she's like, "No, that's not what I meant." I was like, "Okay." She's like, "Can you read this on air?" I was like, "Yeah, sure." And then she's like, "Here, put on your headsets. Don't worry, it may feel weird hearing your own voice for the first time, but just read." So after that, I think after I read that one thing, that's when I felt I felt a high, a natural high that I've never felt before, and from there I met. So I did the junior jock thing, and then that's when I met Logan, King DJ Logan, and then we had um we had some. Well, the most common thing is we lived in the same area, so he was like, "Oh, you know, don't don't board with the other junior jocks, just board with me." And from there, um, that's when I really got uh to learn about radio. That's really caught. That's what caught me, I guess. That's what bit me. Just being on the radio, and then yeah, it was just all luck of the draw that I was able to get into magic. Um, and I was hired December 2001, and then I started with Logan, and for the longest time I've always been with Logan, and then yeah, all the way up until now. I've honestly I've never been a solo DJ. I've always had
Yeah.
a partner. So yeah, that's how I started radio. Up until now,
Mm.
it's fun.
But dito ka na nag-college, right?
Yeah,
Or
so yeah,
nasa, so I mean, you finished no 2001. You've been here for quite a while already in the Philippines. You've been back for quite a while already.
I was back. I think 96, 97,
Mm.
because I finished high school and
So
then here.
kakagraduate mo lang din nung when you
Uh
OJT'd for Magic, parang ganun.
oh no, it is because like for high school I finished 95. I had to skip a year because when I got here it was already trimester, so they said, "Oh,
Mm,
yeah, you have to wait."
yeah.
So I I think I jumped in 96, 97, and then yeah, all the way to 2000.
Yeah.
So it kind of took my time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I did
So
too.
yeah.
I think
Yeah,
I think that's the right way, the right thing to do, man. Take your time.
yeah, just take your time. And especially like coming from the States and living here, it's so different is instead of being the minority, you're the majority.
Yeah.
And it was such a trip is just okay. I think maybe the first few months I thought it kind of sucked here is because I didn't know anyone.
Yeah.
But then once I started hanging out with my cousins, they introduced me to my friends and so forth. I just like, okay, this is a nice place. But the real reason was the reason I was here is because my parents said that oh, college is much cheaper in the Philippines. Why don't you come back after you graduate? You can go back to the States if you want to. And I was like, okay, just I'll just count it as an adventure. And they said, sure, just do that. So when that happened, started to live here, started to enjoy. It's like, okay, I don't think I'm going
Yeah.
back. Yeah,
Nope.
no, no, not gonna happen.
Yeah.
So,
I got cousins then born and raised sa States.
mm,
Tapos first trip nila sa Philippines, pare, ano na sila eh. In their 20s na, early 20s. So, syempre,
mm,
Manila, gimmick, di ba?
uh,
Pare, when we brought them out, they're like, fuck, man, like, I want to stay here. I want to live. Kasi
yeah,
syempre, like, the access that we have here is so different, right? I
hmm,
mean, they took me to Vegas. They took me to the big clubs there. And I'm like, man, this sucked. Like,
yeah, it's okay.
di ba? Parang,
Yeah,
sige, uwi kayong Pilipinas. Ako bahala. Parang ganun yun.
exactly. And it's just the level of fun
Yeah.
is that it's so different here. I mean, when my cousins from the States they're like, okay, let's go out. Okay, I mean, you know that they're gonna have fun,
Yeah.
and you just realize that. I mean, good with the bad, but I guess
Mostly
you have
good,
to.
man. It's
Yeah,
just really
you.
fun, bro.
Yeah, it's just really fun. You just have to enjoy.
Saka alam mo sa States, I noticed, no? Like, when you're there, or when I go there, talagang kailangan mo schedule like with
Mm-hmm.
your cousins or with your friends there na because they can't just like get off work. Unlike here, like ano plano? Sundin kita sa
Oh,
airport, tapos gimmick tayo. It's like, ganun, parang direct, wala ka bang work? Meron. Pero sige, gimmick tayo. Parang,
oh,
walang,
everyone's always just willing to go out. They'll find a reason just to drink. They're like,
yeah.
okay, let's just drink. So it's
Yeah.
it's nice here. I mean, before you could spend 5 hours in a Starbucks and just do nothing, but now it's just like okay, it's just obviously no one's gonna hang out 5 hours in Starbucks, but before it's just like okay, let's just hang out, let's go, let's chill, and that's good, I guess. So that's what I like about here is that you always find a friend to go out with. You always, even if someone is busy, they're like, oh, why don't you ask so and so? They're like, okay, sige, let's go. G.
Lahat dito kaladkarin eh, no? Parang
Mm,
sorry.
which
And
is a good trait.
yeah. Are you a dual citizen or Filipino citizen?
Dual.
You're
Dual.
dual. So you really
Dual.
had that option.
Yes, I had that
Hindi ka
option.
parang si Tony na TNT.
No, no, no. I'm dual, so
Yeah.
I've always
Did you
I've had
come
that
home
option.
here? Like even when you were in the States, like did you go to the
Yeah,
Philippines?
yeah. We'd
Okay.
go to the Philippines for say Christmas. Um,
Okay. So you didn't lose that
so
connection. Talagang you had ties pa din here. Okay.
And especially like where we were living at the time, the places that we were living, we always had like some relative there,
Mm,
so which
mm,
was okay. I
mm.
mean, last one in San Diego, we had so many relatives up and down California,
Yeah.
so it was just like being back home. So
Mm.
it's not like okay, whatever. But now that I think about it, I could never I I can't think about my life if I did live there in the
Yeah.
US after college. And like sometimes like I'll just I'll just I'll just imagine like, oh, what would I be doing? I'd have no idea. I'd have no idea what I'd be doing if I left after college, but I'm glad I didn't. I
Yeah.
mean, meeting great people, meeting my wife, and then obviously like friends like you, Tony,
Mm,
Sam, Gino, and everyone. I wouldn't trade it. I wouldn't trade it. I mean, if had a chance to do it all again, I'd probably still do the same thing I did.
yeah. Yeah. And yun eh, no? Parang like there's of course Filipinos in general, right? There's the whole diaspora, like better opportunity outside. What's
Mm,
interesting is that most of the people who've been outside are always looking for a reason to come back, like for that
yes.
opportunity to come back and to actually stay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, no judgment, right? For those who want to go out, but yun nga, parang yun yung naririnig kong common. Like,
Mm,
shit, gusto ko na umuwi, or paano ba ako uuwi? I mean, of course, the money is always a problem, right? From a salary standpoint and all that. But like everybody, yeah, is just trying to find a way to come home.
yeah, it's all about the happiness factor.
Mm,
Is that you just have to weigh it. It's like, okay, I may be getting a larger salary, but am I happy? I may be getting a smaller salary, but I'm happy. I'm happier.
mm,
So that's what I took into account. Um, I mean, because people would think like, okay, what if I fail? What if what if I don't achieve what I wanted to achieve?
yeah.
That's the thing here in the Philippines is that I think it's so forgiving is that you can always do something again. You can always start up something. You may fall flat on your face, but you'll find some friends that'll help you out.
Mm.
And that'll say, hey, it's okay. If you have another idea, hey, let's run with it.
Maraming
Let's do
aampun sa'yo
something.
dito eh, no? Parang
Mm,
like, you don't even have to ask. Like,
yeah.
automatic, you're
They're
never
like,
gonna
oh,
be alone, man.
yeah, like, hey, we have a room, you can move
Yeah.
in with us. But I don't know. It's like, for example, like for me, I kind of thought I'd be going back to the States is when because my first course was pre-med chem, is because I wanted to be a doctor. And then I realized is that you just had to be super smart, and which I wasn't. So I kind of um yeah, flamed out at that, and I was just too scared to tell my dad. But then obviously, you get the letter from from the school, and so my dad, I thought he'd get mad, but he just asked me, he was like, what do you want to do with your life? um and honestly, I had no idea what I wanted to do. I was just so lost. I was like, I wanted to be a doctor, but I'm not that smart. I even if I tried, I'd probably fail. But he sat me down, even with me crying. He's like, okay, just think over, say, the people that you've met, say your titos or titas that you've seen working here. What do you like? And I think the thing that popped into my mind is, say, advertising, because one of my titos, he was also in advertising, and I saw how pretty cool his job was. So I kind of just said that, um not realizing that radio was a career option. And he's like, okay, just change your course. And yeah, and so change it to communications, and then yeah, from there I really did think I was going to be in advertising. But then when it was OJT time, I think the easiest one was just to get into magic, because my family knew someone there. So like, okay, just,
Mm,
and then from there, wala nang advertising.
yeah. It sounds like you have a good relationship with your dad, no? Or like, how
um,
would you describe that?
I think it's a good relationship. It's really also, there is some tough love there.
Okay.
I won't lie. I mean, when I was a kid, like, I'd get spanked.
Yeah. Generation naman
Yeah,
natin yun eh. So,
yeah. So I mean, it was normal for us.
yeah.
But I understood, uh what he wanted me to learn,
Mm.
what he was working hard for. And I think now, I think I just being here, I kind of understood now. It's okay. This is the reason why he
Yeah.
wanted me to do well in school.
Yeah.
Um, like what our parents have always said is that education is the only thing I can give you, which is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah. Pag nagkaanak
And
tayo, pare, parang dun lalabas eh, no? Now we start
mm,
to see what they were going through, what they were saying,
yes,
telling us, man. Like, it's funny kasi minsan, syempre like, two boys, right? So like,
mm.
sakit sa ulo, pare. Like, I mean, ang saya, right? It's so, like, we're really happy, but like, there are like streaks of, like, shit, man.
Craziness.
Like, shut up, guys. Parang ganun talaga eh, right? Biglang, tapos like, of course, talking to my mom, like, she'd laugh, right? Like, parang, ngayon alam mo na.
Mm. Uh,
Ngayon, yes, like, it's like that I told you so
yes,
vibe.
that moment, but
Yeah.
it was nice. I mean, me and my dad were cool now. He's not the type to talk too much. We'll talk about stuff here and there, but he's always been a quiet type, along with my mom. Yeah, my mom's pretty quiet, but she's very loud in the kitchen when she's cooking. When she's cooking, she does she lets her cooking do the talking. But yeah, I mean, overall, I mean, I have to give it up to my parents. Is that when I said that I wanted to try radio, they're pretty supportive, as opposed to say other parents out there that I've heard from other DJs that they weren't supportive of the whole idea. So I've been thankful for that, and they've been happy for me. They've seen everything that I've done so far, so they're pretty stoked about it.
Nice.
Yeah.
And
So
kasi like syempre like your dad's in the Navy, diba your mom's a nurse. So I would imagine nga na they would be the type of parents na parang you had to have a profession. Like the parang
yeah,
unaccepted, 'di ba? Parang
yeah, like a office job, a nine to
mm,
five.
yeah. Yeah.
But they were
Yeah.
pretty open to it.
Nice.
So it was nice. I mean, there are also some times that I think it was right before Boys Night Out started. When I was doing another time slot with someone else, I forgot who, but it was like, okay, am I doing the right thing? Uh, you know, considering that I did all the time slots, nah, should I just call it quits? And it was funny, is because the original Boys Night Out was myself, Tony, and King DJ Logan. So we were the original Boys Night Out, and then fun fact is that the first day of Boys Night Out, I was not there. The reason
What?
why is, yeah, I was in Boracay. I was with my ex at the time because that was supposed to be our last Boracay trip. Um,
Mm,
that was supposed to, because we were planning to leave for the States, and that was the plan. And then all of a sudden, uh yeah, I just the plan changed. I take it upon myself, is that I didn't tell her that I wanted to stay, but then she went off to somewhere else to be with her mom. She's like, oh, she was shuttling back and forth, and we were always talking, and then she's like, oh, just make enough money, or just make whatever, so that may ipon tayo.
mm,
And I just never said. And then I think she kind of understood, and then she yeah, she's like, hey, I know you're having fun, and I think this is not going to work.
yeah.
So yeah, so that's what happened. But then also, I was kind of torn with the choice of staying, because I think 3-4 months after Boys Night Out started, Logan left,
Mm,
because he wanted to do his own thing, and it was just me and Tony. So how can you be boys night out with only two guys?
Yeah.
So
And Logan, syempre, yung presence din ni Logan, right? Yung character din ni
very
Logan.
strong.
Yeah,
Yeah, very
yeah.
very strong. So kami, I guess we call us sidekicks.
Mm.
All of a
Mm.
sudden, Allah, the the lead is gone. So
Yeah.
what are we gonna do? And I guess I guess it also taught us that to okay, we have to create the show for ourselves.
Mm.
And then I think it was just me and Tony for about a month.
Mm.
And then after a month, Tony talked to Sam because Sam was with his previous station,
Yeah.
99.5, and he was planning to leave to go to another station. So Tony talked to him and he's like, "Hey, do you want to be famous? You want to get all the girls?"
Yeah,
And
yeah,
that
yeah.
yeah, and that said, Sam came with us. So it was a great decision. So
Yeah.
that's how I guess 2.0 Boys Night Out started, and then
Mm.
now we have the 3.0. Of course, we added Gino
Yeah.
on board. So it's been a great ride.
Mm. Mm. And yun
I
nga, parang it's not like I wanted to ask you, are there times wherein parang shit medyo kasi tagal na ng boys night out, man. And yun nga, would there be like moments wherein like shit, what's next from a radio
um
standpoint?
not not really.
Mm.
Is maybe during say the pandemic, when it first started, parang like, oh, what are we gonna be doing? Parang we can't go to the station. There's no way that we can do this online until we found Zoom, and from there it's just like okay, let's continue. But I think there was never a time where we're like, oh, what are we gonna do? Parang I'm bored or stuff like that. It's nice is when you work with creative people, they push you, they want to think about other things. I mean, it was hard, especially because like for me, when I got married and then I had a baby, I think that was maybe the hardest part for me, is because Doc was, she was healing up, and I also had to take care of Archer. So,
Mm.
the whole thing of no sleep.
Yeah.
Sometimes I'd come on the show, I'd just be so bungag that I'd just zone out.
Yeah.
And I guess it happened for about maybe year and a half, and then they talked with me, and there's like, I apologized, and they're like, no, it's okay, it's part of life. Do you still want to be part of it? I was like, yeah. And then yeah, so up until now we were
Nice.
still doing Boys Night Out. I guess also people, they'd always ask like, did you plan it out that you'd get married? I was like, no, I was probably always the first one to get married,
Mm.
no matter what. And it did happen. I was the one that got married. And me thinking about it is that as a show, you just can't just be three guys talking about the single life all the time. Something has to change. So the change happened.
Parang yung isa okay naman. Parang si Tony parang okay naman siya sa single life. Parang
Well, which is okay. Is
siya na
that
lang
we
yun. Let's like
uh
leave it to him.
let's leave it to him, and then we're all the married guys with kids, whatever. But
Yeah, yeah.
I mean that I guess that's the beauty of the show, is that maybe someone in your Burkada like Gino. You may
Yeah.
know someone like Tony or Sam or
Yeah.
myself, and it's nice. I mean, we've had listeners throughout the years still with us. We have newer listeners
Yeah.
now that are just discovering us. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I like it.
What's it like working? Kasi I think what stands out also is that close talaga kayo eh. Diba? Like you're really
Hmm.
friends. I mean,
Hmm.
I know there are other like not just in radio, right? But whether it's music or whether it's team sports or whatnot, kahit magkasama sila araw-araw, they're not really close. I mean, there's a
Hmm.
professional relationship. But with you guys,
I
talagang, diba? Like, you're friends,
Yeah,
man. I
we're
mean,
we're really friends
yeah.
before Boys Night Out started. I mean, I've known Tony since 2001 when I started at the station. I met Sam maybe 2004 or 5, and we just really end up hanging out. And I've met Gino before when he was with RX, and very cordial, say hi, hello, we'd hang out, we'd have the same circle. And I guess that's the beauty of it, is that we have that friendship, but we also have that respect for one another, because we know what we all went through. We've all done morning shows. We've put in the hours, just to make it work. We've sacrificed stuff like that. And I guess also that's what comes out on the show, is that okay, people really know that we're friends, is that we can make fun of each other, and it's fine. I mean, we don't take it personal, um because that's who we are. We're not going to make fun of any other people. We'll make fun of ourselves.
Yeah.
So that's why it works. There's never, honestly, there's never been a time that we've had an argument.
Mm.
We've had disagreements, and I yeah, there's none.
Yeah.
I mean, just the whole direction for the show. We're kind of, we do have that one mindset as a group.
Mm.
And yeah,
Then you guys
that's
complement each other. Like, you have different person. Obviously, you guys have different personalities, right? So, which
mhm.
is good kasi nga, parang you represent like certain degrees, certain angles, right? You're not
Yes,
overlapping per se.
yes, and
Mm.
I think also maybe that's my job. Even if I may not say that much, as much as Tony, Sam, or Gino,
Mm.
I'm kind of there to for them to, oop, you gotta slow down, or
Mm.
you gotta stop, because if not, they're just gonna go overboard. We'll probably get in trouble or something. So you gotta have that. You have that one calm person.
So, ikaw
Na
pala yun? Ikaw pala yung principal, parang ganun? Or ikaw yung
uh,
manager na up, 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 up?
like kalma kalma before we get in trouble. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
that's why it works. Is that, I guess that's also the way we are when we're together. Say
Yeah.
traveling before,
Yeah.
that was always fun. We were always up to no good. I mean, we could have only imagined, like, if we had a camera with us following. Man,
Yeah.
that would have been a fun YouTube show
Yeah. I
at the
always
time.
have a conversation with Chino, my best friend.
Mm,
Parati ko sinasabi sa kanya, tayo na pare, pwede tayo pwede tayo mag-show eh. Kasi like, tingnan mo yung BNO, kasi tropa, magbabarkada yung mga yan, tapos ang kukulit lang nila, ang gugulo lang nila. And
mm-mm,
yun nga, parang essentially, it seems like it's more of a documentation of your friendship rather
mm,
than like a pure show, like it's a business or whatnot. I mean, it is that, right? But
yeah.
the flavor, the character of the show, the identity of the show really is founded on your friendship.
Yeah, it is, and
Mm.
it's a friendship that has grown throughout the years.
Mm.
We've seen our ups and downs. I mean, we've seen our breakups, our
Mm.
makeups, and it's also the knowledge that okay, you just can't have one mindset. I mean, if we talk about, or if you play like an old episode that we had maybe 10 years ago and you played it now, I think we would probably get canceled real quick. Um we yeah, we just
BNO na wala talagang filter at
Oh
trouble talaga.
yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, because people weren't as sensitive now. But I mean, it's okay. That's also where the growth
Sure.
is, and learning for Boys Night Out, and just for us in as individuals,
Yeah.
is that you really do have to learn from the times. There were things that were acceptable that we used to say that we don't say now.
Yeah.
Maybe use phrases that we used to say that we won't say now, is because we understand that there are more people listening. There are
True.
more people that are aware of, hey, that was offensive, or hey,
Mm.
you can't say that. And we've caught ourselves saying that to ourselves, is that, hey, we can't say that. So but we play it off in playful
Bro,
way.
we're in the age wherein, di ba yung Rush Hour, may disclaimer na da. Rush Hour ba yun?
Mm,
Did you see that? Like, parang,
yeah,
they're now posted. It's like, I'm like,
yeah, because wala, because
like,
people say, "Hey, didn't you find that offensive?" I mean, even like the old shows. I mean, Sex and the Cities, The Friends.
yeah,
The people like, "Hey, how come they don't have any other friends? They're all just white, right?" So it's
yeah,
just like for us, it was nothing. It was just a great show. We didn't notice that they were just
yeah,
all white, um, but I guess also that's something that was needed
mm,
for us because if not, we probably would have stopped the show or
mm. It's saka,
someone.
it has opened doors also for you guys, right? From the
Hmm.
hosting gigs, NBA. I mean, I don't know. What do you think? If you were the same, the 10 years ago kind of BNO, yung walang filter na yon, tingin mo ba makukuha mo yung NBA or a wedding gig? Like,
No.
right?
Well, for the wedding gigs, I think
Pwede.
majority of the wedding gigs that we did get before was just because of who we
Because,
were. Because we were just like bustos.
yeah.
But then with other things you have to
Yeah.
realize is you have all these contracts that you can't you have a morality clause that's what it is.
Yeah.
A morality
Yeah.
clause is that okay, you can't offend, you can't do this and that, which we totally understand. So us 10 years ago to get stuff now, no, we wouldn't be able to do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
we we'd be too far. No. They'd bring up our names. Nope, not them.
Yeah.
Nope,
Cancelled.
not them.
The
Yeah,
cancel
exactly.
culture.
Real quick. But I mean, I the cancel culture. I understand it, and it's the signs of times, and I guess also people understand who we are. Um, they understand. Okay, this is their brand of radio. This is their brand of talk. They're not out here to offend. They're out here to speak their minds. And it's I guess you can say it's a safe space. And I mean we've had people, you know, the past few years saying that we've been scared to be on Boys Night Out is because they've had they've had a um they've had a thought about us the way we are, but then we'll change that when they guess. They're like, that you're not as bad as I thought, and which is nice. I mean,
Yeah.
that's cool to hear. Is that they were brave enough to come on the show, and they've stuck around with us. They've tweeted us even after, or they've
At saka,
messaged us.
yung brand nyo naman, hindi naman kayo yung parang nang-iinsulto, di ba? I mean, hindi kayo offensive, right? You're bastos. I mean, there's that level of bastos and fun, but it's all in good fun.
Mm,
There's no... I've never seen you guys as that kind of bastos or that kind of offensive people, right? And
mm,
and I think that's why there's a level also of understanding, acceptance, and of love also from your fans because yun nga, may line naman kayo eh. Medyo
mm.
mas forward lang ng konti compared sa
Yeah,
iba, but it's not too much, man. I don't think it was
yeah.
ever,
I don't think it
'di ba?
was
'Di ba pa?
it was ever too overboard.
Ewan ko, pero I mean, tawan-tawa, I mean, yung Taco Tuesday, bro. I mean, I'm sure may mga... But yun na, kasi established naman yung market nyo eh, di ba? Hindi naman din,
Yeah.
yeah.
And for that, the Taco Tuesday, obviously we had to change this because it was online now. I mean, is also we understand these girls that come on is that they have an opportunity to advertise themselves to get other jobs.
True.
I mean, we've had Taco Tuesday girls that have become FHM
Yeah.
cover girls. They've become, featured models in
Yeah.
say other magazines or other places. And for us is like, okay, we respect you coming on the show. We respect you with what you're doing.
Yeah.
And it's cool to see them like
Yeah.
that. I mean, I have to say thanks to Nielsen of Talent High. He's the one that gets these girls to come on, and he's been supportive of us for the past, I don't know how many years since
Yeah.
we started Taco Tuesday. So he's been the one to find, say, those diamonds in the rough,
Yeah.
and he's been nice enough. I mean, the girls that we'd bump into them, say, during events, like, hey, don't you remember me? I was like, oh, okay. So it's nice is that, they get different opportunities, maybe, to not just from, and I guess the easiest one is because there are some girls that have been like independent car show girls,
Yeah.
but then after coming on Boys Night Out, they get the exposure is that they start working for, say, a car company now. They start as their official models, or they become, they become maybe even within their sales, and it's nice to see their growth. And we're pretty happy. Like, oh, okay,
Kasi
so you
legit,
got that
yun nga,
opportunity.
legit platform kayo eh, right? I mean, if somebody wants to be like known, like a PR or what, I mean,
Mm.
get on the
I mean,
show, man. Get on BNO, man. I mean, malaki yung mileage talaga. What you guys
yes,
built is really something, man. And the fact that it's still relevant to today, diba? A lot of
it's
shows come and go, man. A lot of
mm.
groups come and go.
And that's also why we did the whole SMA thing,
Yeah.
when the pandemic was starting, is because everyone was starting their ube cheese, their bake
Yeah.
whatever. So it's like our way of giving back is
Yeah.
that, okay, airtime, which God knows it's so expensive,
Yeah.
especially on Magic. So it's because we want to help you out. And we've always had this um thing for
Yeah.
SMEs
Ever
is
since,
that,
bro. Ever since, man.
so
Music local days. I mean,
yeah.
papaplug ako, text ko kayo or whatnot, and you've been so gracious. All three of you. I've never met Gino, by the way. At saka, when Gino joined, ayun nga, retired na ako, iba na yung buhay. So,
But Gino, he's cool. I
yeah.
mean, he's a great guy. I mean,
Bugoy eh.
he's a
Bugoy,
dad. Oh,
bugoy na
I,
bugoy.
I mean, we do have the same likes. I mean, video games, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a cool guy, and I mean, I guess maybe one of the perfect examples of an SME doing well is, you know, Buffalo Wings and Things.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
They came on the show. They had one branch, and we were like, man, now we see them. It's like, holy crap, they have so many branches. We're like, man, we should got like
Yeah.
10% of the
Equity,
company.
bro. Yeah,
Exactly.
equity.
But I mean, we're just happy. I mean, that's something that we always mess around with them.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's our way of giving back. Because that's all you can do is just really pay it forward.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to give people that opportunity, their voice to be heard, and you never know who's listening, and it'll just pop in someone's mind like, hey, that's what I was looking for, or that's what I need for my company. And it's nice for us to be that bridge. And when they come back to us like, hey, do you remember so and so, I guessed it on your show, now a restaurant gets my, say, pastries now, blah blah blah. And it's, it's like, okay, we may not get, you know paid the big bucks, so to speak. But I mean, we're super happy that we're there for them, when they thought no one really cared about their product, or their goods.
You take care of the community takes care of you, man. And
Yes.
this whole karma economy, you guys have always I don't know if it's well, the way you're sharing or talking about it now, mukhang it's really deliberate din talaga, right? But yun nga, I've always known you guys as the helpful ones. I mean, all three of you, and of course now with Gino, I'm sure ganun din siya. I don't think you'd get anybody, right, part of your
Mm,
team that doesn't share the same values. So I'm pretty sure yun nga na pareho din siya. So,
yeah, that took a while for us to get him.
oh
Is
really?
Yeah, he was with the station already. But we were like, okay, do you think we can add him to the group?
Yeah.
We'd always go back and forth, and then when we brought it up to the station, they're like, okay, and then we
And he's
brought
a
it up with
great
him.
ad, bro. I mean, like
Mm,
he added a new level or a new dynamic with the voice night out, and again,
yeah,
part of the relevance, keeping
yes.
moving forward with it.
I mean, him coming from, say, the Morning Rush, that's already an established group. So
Yeah,
we get their Morning Rush listeners that remember him. So they just hear a different him.
yeah,
So, but it's fun. It's fun to be on the show
yeah.
still.
I mean, You've been sharing a lot, and thanks for that. And yun nga, I want to acknowledge nga the success. Kasi alam ko, I know, maybe to most, it's all fun, right? Tawa lang kayo ng
Mm,
tawa. It's all good. And, you're doing hosting, you're endorsing, and it's all like the good brands and all the good companies. But I understand the hard work, the grind that it
mm,
actually takes, that's
yeah.
needed, that's required. So, I wanted to ask you, like, what has been, because now we're hearing the good things, right? But what did you struggle with, or what was a fail? Did you have a failure back then that really left a mark or an impression on you?
I think the I guess the failures are, say, it's just really as a group. I think that's how we established ourselves, is that okay, people have to see us out a lot. Okay, so at least people know us. Oh, they're Boys Night Out. You don't know our names individually, but you know us as Boys Night Out. Okay, then our job is done. But I think there's there's a lot of ups and downs. I think maybe some of the downs were maybe when we were first starting, there's people were like, you know, you talk a little bit too much. You're a little bit crass. You talk about things that are a little risque. I mean, we've had advertisers, say that to us, is that, we can't be connected with you guys, because it may be a little be too much for us. But I think that that's what pushed us even more, is that okay, if these brands don't believe in us yet, they'll believe it. They'll believe in us in the future, or they'll say, "Oh, we missed the boat on that one. We should have started with them early." But I think that's what got to us, is when people said no to us, when they said, no, we don't like the show, or no, you're not the right fit. I think that's what really pushed us to stay those late nights. I mean, even up till now, before the pandemic, we'd stay at the station after the show. We'd all just sit down, and even if we're not talking, we're just watching the news, and then we'll talk about ideas, well, whatever. I think that's what really pushed us, is that okay, it's not like when the mic turns off, okay, alis na ako. It was never like that. It was like, okay, what can we do, or what did you see, something new on TV, or on say YouTube, or some clip that someone sent, could we do that? And it's something that still pushes us today. I think also the for me, is like when I had that thought of, okay, maybe I should leave Boys Night Out, is that I didn't want to be, that that fifth member of the Beatles, or Boys to Men, or that eighth member of BTS to like
Yeah.
leave, and tapos all of a sudden they got big. I it played in my mind a lot. No, if they did, if if they did, or
Yeah, yeah,
how it is.
yeah.
They they
Yeah,
they they they're all living in a dorm.
yeah.
Maybe someone left. I don't know.
Yeah.
Or you're the eighth member that got cut because
Sorry,
you
sorry.
did.
Sorry na
All right.
distract kita. Parang nagulat ako dun. Ha, talaga ba? Anyway. Okay, sorry. You were saying.
So I think that was also like that would eat at me, like, what if they did get famous, and or what if, not even famous, what if they did well, um and I left, how would I feel? So that's why I stuck it out with Tony and Sam, and then, or Logan at the time, Tony and Logan, and then obviously then Sam, and then now Gino, is that is it's just the thought of just quitting. Parang it would leave such a bad taste in my mouth. Like, okay, we just quit for nothing. And yeah, we've had a lot of doors close on us, but on the opposite end, we've had a lot of windows open up that we climbed into. instead of the door.
Mm.
So just hearing all those no's, and then all of a sudden, when people started saying yes, and then companies started saying yes, we're like, okay, we have to keep pushing, keep working. Even till now, I mean, we message each other till late,
Mm.
and sometimes it's just nonsense, but we'll pick up stuff from our nonsense.
Yeah.
So
And,
which is nice.
and siguro, no, yun nga, the fact that you like each other.
Mm,
So even if it's tough, like, yun nga, I'm sure there are moments, right, na, yun nga, it's not as, hindi siya as okay, di ba? But yun na nga, at the end, it'll figure itself out. You guys will figure it out. You have that chemistry. Like it's like basketball. Di ba? Parang those teams that are actually close, they have a different level, right? They have a
mm,
switch that they could dig deep. Tapos
yeah.
they would go back to that bond that's eventually gonna lift them up. I'm not sure if you've heard about it or you've read about it. Na they did a study na parang yung may team na may pinakamaraming tapek
Mm.
with each other actually ended up in the finals, bro.
Ooh, did not know that.
I will look for it. I'll send it to you, man. Na yun nga parang yung tapik, that butt
Mm.
tap, all of that, bro. They started counting even preseason.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos yun nga, the teams that actually did well came out na sila yung may pinakamaraming contact with each other. Sorry, I now remember. So it was Mel Robbins. I
Mm.
don't know. I'm not sure if you follow her. So she came out with a new book, parang high five, something like that. So the
Oh, I'll check it
psychology
out.
of high fiving yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Tapos yun nga, there's science pala behind it. Kasi di ba, wala ka namang i-high five. Nag-high five ka na ba na hindi ka masaya? Di ba parang automatic, like there's this feel good. So it does something to you psychologically.
Yeah.
Like parang may chemicals na i-release or whatnot. So,
So bagay, it does make sense.
yeah. Di ba?
Does
So
make
even
sense.
like, kunwari, tayo, hey bro, what's up man? Di ba? Parang pag
Mm.
nagkita tayo, mag-appear tayo, may ano yun eh. Di ba? Parang may boost yun na
May
nakukuha
may
eh. Right?
may uplifting
Yeah.
spirit. I guess also that was oddly enough is that now that you mention it, is that we always say up here. So
Yeah.
we've always said
Oo
it.
nga,
So
no?
so
Yeah,
maybe
man. I'll
maybe
send you
there's
that. I mean, it really actually applies and resonates with you guys. Because, like,
oh
that's what she was, kasi diba she's like personal development coach, life coach, ganyan. Tapos, she was saying that, she still struggles with, I think, depression or whatnot, or anxiety. And, like, she had a bad spell.
mhm.
Wherein she was, like, standing in front of the mirror. Tapos, ay pa nga niya na, yung parang tuyot-tuyot na siya. Tapos, yung boobs daw niya, hindi daw pantay. Yun talagang, like,
Mm.
she was really down. And wala, parang she just decided, i-appear ko nga yung sarili ko. Parang, so, like, it's like that, yeah, the high five habit.
Yes.
Tapos yun nga, translating to the NBA or to professional sports, yun nga, when you tap somebody, right, parang, hindi, kaya mo yan, or like, we're together. You're not
Mm.
alone, right?
But
And
it's a
there's,
connection.
and there's that, like, I guess, parang flow of optimism, diba? Parang energy, good vibes na, yeah, man,
Mm.
kaya. Kasi, like, yun nga, di ba yung, meron din clip eh. Di ba college ball yun, right? Yung parang,
Mm.
I think it was, he plays now for Dallas. OKC siya last year. Shucks, what's his name?
Dallas.
Bangko eh. Bangko siya. But when he was in college, nag-ano yun eh, nag-viral yun eh. Na
Ah.
he did parang nag-turnover siya, tapos he had his head down. Tapos his
Ah.
point guard, di ba? Parang lifted
Uh,
his
head
chin
up.
up. Parang
Mm.
ganon. So, yun nga, those things matter, man. And like now, you're saying, oh nga kayo, appear nga kayo, no?
Mm.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
I guess we also do that when we hang out. I think that also that's what people are amazed is that they see us out together. Even up
Mm.
till now. I mean, it's not as often, but
Yeah.
when they see us out together, like, didn't you guys weren't you guys just working?
Nung sinabi mo yun, like yung nga na, you always, being seen, like I've
Mm.
never, hindi naman never, but most of the time nga, kayong tatlo yung magkasama, bro.
Oh. It'd always be Tony first, or I'd be at the venue first, and then
Yeah.
the other two they'll
Yeah.
just be there.
Yeah.
So I guess we, oddly enough, we do work with each other, but we also like hanging out with
Yeah.
each other.
Yeah.
Even in in the evenings, or we go to a bar, go to a club, whatever.
Mm.
Um, uh, it's nice. I enjoy their conversation. I think people would just be surprised about the things that we do talk about, because people will be like, do they have smart conversations? We have a lot of smart conversation. People would be surprised. Yeah.
Yun yung itsura, like in public.
Mm,
Machet ang lalalim nyo kaya? I mean,
Medyo. The deepest one is probably Tony. I
yeah.
mean, because
Oh,
you've
yeah.
spoken with him, but I mean, like when we have those
Yeah.
conversations when we're traveling, or it's just us in our alone time,
Yeah.
we really have real deep
Yeah.
thoughts, and it's like, whoa, where'd that come from? But I mean, for us, it's just normal. But if someone just dropped into the conversation, they're like, "Are you guys like high or something?" So like, what are you guys doing? Are you okay?
Well, before, yeah, but
Yeah, before,
Before.
but not now. It's
Yeah.
illegal. It's always been illegal, but yeah, moderately,
Yeah.
moderately. But yeah, I mean, it's fun being with them. It's just like what I tell my wife or Doc is that it's very, I get re-energized when I hang out with them. That's why we're still trying to find time to hang out with each other.
Yeah.
Maybe like a draft or something. So
Mm.
at least
Yeah.
we can be together. So we all really want to be in the booth together, but with
True.
everything that's happening is you just need so many things to change up the booth so it'll be safe. But
Yeah.
we'll see. We'll see what happens.
Yeah. How about ano naman, pare? Fatherhood. And of
Mm,
course, being married now to Doc. How has that changed you? What kind of,
mm.
because I'm pretty sure, diba, syempre, there's like, it's good change, right? So, but how would you describe it? What it feel like for you now?
I think, well, let's go. I guess let's go in order na lang. I guess with the marriage, I, honestly, like say the my exes, um, I I probably was just going out with them just to be going out with them. I never saw them maybe in that light yet, or maybe I just wasn't mentally ready to be married. But then when I met Doc, I guess it was it was the right time, right place, and just for some gut reason is I just knew that I had to be with her. I had to marry her. Um, yeah, it was more of a stepping up to the plate, and not because I'm trying to be one with society where you do have to get married, but I kind of, before I used to think, I'll just be a single guy, but meeting Doc, that's when it changes. That okay, this is someone that I could be with. This is someone that I want to be with. She'd be there at my lowest point. She'd be there at my highest points, and it was more of a me stepping up to the plate. Like, okay, this is for me. This is my destiny. I am going to be a married man. I'm going to be the married man on boys' night out. But it was such a feeling like, okay, it's because obviously because I see my parents, so that's a loving relationship that I also wanted to have, and it was just nice. It was just nice to have that feeling, have that person, have that, yeah, have that one person just be with you. And we were at a point in our lives, especially with Doc, is that, you know, if we get pregnant, then we get pregnant. If we don't, then we're okay. We're good. But then we got lucky. God was able to bless us, because uh yeah, it was a, I guess, not super dangerous, but it was a dangerous pregnancy for Doc because of her age. So we were just blessed. I mean, when when we had Archer, it was like, wow, it was super life changing. Like, okay, everything that I've been working for is not for us, it's really for him. And that was her mindset then, is that okay, we're working for him. Things that we can, there are things that you want to buy for yourself. So yeah, you can do that every once in a while, but then majority of stuff you really want to get for your kid, you want to be able to give them something good, buy toys. Like every time I go to the mall, that's what I think of, like, what can I get Archer? But I try to hold back. Other times I'll buy him something, but it gives you that perspective in life, is that you're not there just for yourself. You're you're there for your family, you're there for your wife, you're there for your son. You're there for, if you have two or three kids, you're really there for them. And you have to be the best you to be able to take care of them. You have to give your best in your job. You have to give your best to your friends. You have to give your best to your boss, whoever you're working for. Is that it's a reflection of you, and you want your family to say that, hey, that's my husband, or that's my dad. And you want your friends to say, hey, that's my friend. um so that, I don't know, it's just a feeling of, it's it's not a heavy responsibility, but the responsibility is there. So it's really like, it's your mindset of just being able to get out of the Peter Pan stage, is that I gotta grow up. I gotta make things happen. I gotta put some money into some insurance, which you never thought before. Like, okay, insurance a waste, but then you realize, hey, insurance is pretty okay.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
so it's the mindset of, it's not about one, it's about us. And
Mm,
when you have that mindset, I mean, all respects to those who want to stay single for life. I mean, for Tony, that's
yeah.
that's him. And I respect that. That's the way he wants to live his life. So that's him. That's what works for him, and this is what works for me. Is that, you know I'll take care of Doc. She'll take care of me. Archer will take care of Archer to make sure that he grows up as a great young man, respectful, God fearing. Um, and yeah, it's a pretty cool mindset. The growth that you have during these times, during these hard times, when you're like, oh, can we afford it? Can we send him to school? What school are we gonna send him to? I don't want to fail the family. So it's a ongoing battle in your mind, but then it's something that'll make your soul grow stronger. It'll make yourself grow stronger, and make your family grow stronger. So yeah, that's the way I see it.
And I love it, man. Because like what you're saying, essentially, yun nga, of course, you're living now for your family. You're no longer doing it for yourself, diba? And you're sharing that. What I love about it is that yun nga, living also, by example.
Mm-hmm.
Like, being the best for yourself, for your work, or for or whoever you touch or interact with.
Mm-hmm.
Diba? Kasi essentially, you're right eh. Yun yung makikita ng anak mo eh.
Mm-hmm. True.
Right?
True.
And, yun nga, like what they say, you don't raise kids, you nurture them, man.
Mm-hmm. That's so true. I mean, it is funny is because when I started the whole NBA thing, um, I I'd be watching League Pass, and
Mm,
my son would say, "Oh, why are you watching TV? You always watch TV a lot in the morning."
mm,
And then I think him seeing me writing, voicing, scripting, and then just watching at the same time, then he realized, oh, that dad's
mm,
working, and he sees the value of it. He'll you know he'll draw something like NBA, or he'll
yeah.
do something that, and he knows that that's my job. This is what I like to do. He knows when I put this mic on the mic stand. He's like, okay, dad's gonna work.
Work.
Be it radio, be it NBA, be it a hosting. He knows that I'm going to work, and he respects that. And he likes to jump in once in a while, like on
Mm.
Boys Night Out. He just likes to see who's the guest and
Mm.
stuff like that. So it gives him that, hey, that's my dad.
Yeah.
That's what he's doing, and it may give him that idea, like, hey, this is something that I want to do.
Mm.
Or if he wants to do a YouTube, say, hey, just go, whatever, run with it. I'll be there to support you. And it's 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 such a, you're dropping a pebble into a lake, and the ripples are gonna be like a tidal wave. It'll be a tsunami down the road, and you just don't know how you'll affect your kids, and what you say and what you do. And I always have to, I keep that in mind about, say, what I tell him, what I'm talking to, when I talk to him. And it's such a great feeling. I mean, not not every married couple are lucky to have kids. Even if they wanted to, they just can't. So I have it. I don't take it for granted. Every night I pray to God, say thank you. Every morning, say thank you. Um, it's because you can make, life may be hard, but life is good. Life is good. It may be difficult, but life is good in general. Um, and I guess I've always had that mindset, like the glass is half full, it's never half empty. So it's, I mean, like I said earlier, is that I've had tough times thinking about, okay, where am I going to make money? But that's the part where God is there for you, where God will be like, okay, this is just my test to you, is like, okay, just keep the faith, you know and yeah, that's what it's it's brought me here, um talking to you about it, talking to other people about it. I mean, just your whole podcast is that you want others people to say, like, oh, they didn't have it easy, pala. They had it rough.
Mm.
They've had heartache, they've had failure. And if people see that, is that okay, we're not looking all rosy, and
Yeah.
you just don't see the limelight, but it is hard to work at it. And it gives them that hope that, okay, I can always change my life. I can always start something new. I
Exactly.
can I can always better myself. And it doesn't have to be super big. It could just be maybe waking up at 6 a.m., maybe working out every day, running 2K,
Yeah.
1K, whatever gets you going. I mean, once you do that, once you change your life, it's for the better, and it's for the better for yourself, for your spouse, for your loved ones, for your kids. And it's a mindset that'll just keep you going. I mean, of course we do have our lazy times, but then you just like, no, i have to I have to make sure that I'm working out, and then my son, he'll see me working out, so he knows that it's a normal thing. So it's a mindset that's pretty cool, that I totally love. So I wouldn't trade it for the
Yeah.
world.
And I noticed din, no, like with all your stories, laking bagay ng support group, no? Like your
Mm,
tribe, parang you've always found or you've always had the right tribe. It doesn't seem big, it doesn't seem huge. Parang it seems nga parang it's compressed, like it's small, like started with your family, with your parents, right? They've always
mhm.
been supportive. Then whether kayo ni Logan or nung naging boys night out na with Sam, right? Parang iilan lang din kayo. And of course now with Doc and Archer. And I know, of course, kilala ko naman yung barkada mo din. But it's not nga like a crazy big group.
Yeah, it's not big. I mean, like if I were to add to the group, I mean, Tony Ataide,
Yes. Mm.
Boom.
Mm.
I'd say that they'd probably be maybe closer to me than maybe Tony and Sam.
Sure.
is because we've shared heartaches. We shared, times that we just ended up crying, or where we're just, just being there for that person, even if it means like drinking every day, even if your liver says no, but you
Yeah,
still yes.
yeah.
I mean, those are the people that I trust with my life, with my family. I mean, Tony, Ataide,
Mm,
Tony,
mm,
Boom, yeah, and Sam, Gino. So
yeah.
those are my that's the
Ang
tribe.
laking bagay eh, 'di ba? Like kasi yun nga, I think all of us, it's gonna be up and down, right? It's just a
Mm-hmm.
matter of like how frequent or how high or how low, right? But ultimately, you can't control that. That's really part of, that's the beauty of life, right?
Mm-hmm.
The you can't control everything,
Yeah,
and
and
yeah,
yeah, yeah, I agree. You can't control everything.
and yun nga, that
It's
support group, di ba? Your go-to,
mm-hmm.
yun nga, would always, kasi imagine you stayed in the Philippines, right? You were supposed to get married, right, and move, but you stuck it out here. Tapos, yung barkada mong yun, sila pa rin naman hanggang ngayon eh, right? So parang, tapos you got, of course, you had your ups and downs. You got married, right? Different challenge naman din. Still them.
Mm-hmm.
And
That is true.
they've always supported you. And I would like to think, and I would like go out on a limb to say na, kaya hindi ka rin naubusan ng lakas ng loob, right? Or ng
Mm.
confidence, ng strength. Because people you love were always there to support you through and
True.
through.
True. I mean, if you're starting something new or trying to do something down, they'll be like, okay, just go. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But it's nice. I mean, it's also the same. Hopefully, the same for for Sam and for Tony. I assume maybe, um, but having that same feeling of they're people I trust. They're people that I love and respect, and hopefully that when Sam does get married, see Essa also feels that too. That okay, this is his tribe. This is his people. This is where we're gonna flourish, so to speak. Yeah, so it's nice. It's nice to have that, but then also what's nice is that you don't have people that are jealous of each other. I guess I guess also
Yeah.
that's a big thing here is sometimes that's what breaks up a
Yeah.
barcada, a group of jealousy. I mean, honestly, I've gotten always those questions like, "Oh, aren't you jealous that Tony gets these opportunities? Aren't you jealous that Sam gets all these or Gino gets all these opportunities?" I'm like, not really. It's because it wasn't meant for me. It was
Mm.
meant for them, and their their success is reflected on Boys Night Out.
Yun.
So why should I say, "Oh, that should have been me"? How come I don't get all these?
Mm.
Like for me, it's just like it's not an issue.
Yeah.
It's because I'd rather have them do it than someone else get it. And we make fun of Sam as being the busiest man on Boys Night Out,
Yeah.
uh, which he is, but he works hard for his money. I mean, he's a
No,
great
yeah.
host. He's funny. So that's where it's dangerous,
Mm.
is if people get jealous of what people are getting.
Yeah. And yun nga, swerte rin sila sa'yo, di ba? Like, yun nga, you're not making a big fuss of anything.
Hmm.
Like, you also have your role. And tama ka dun eh. Like, there, well, lalo na sa Philippines, di ba? The crab, the whole crab. Sikat tayo sa crab mentality,
Mm-hmm.
right? So,
Yes,
parang
sir.
may sumikat ng konti. Next thing you know, hinahatak na, sinisiraan na, and whatnot, di ba? So,
How about me? How about me?
yeah. But that's why it's just so, it's like so refreshing, like really. Na, and ako ang gusto ko dun is ingay, you're showing others for over a decade now that it can be done this way.
Mm,
Like it can be done in a non-dog eat dog way or ruthless way, that you actually like each other, you help each other, you help other people, and good things
yeah.
can actually happen continuously. A steady flow of good things, right? Steady stream
Mm-hmm.
of good things Kasi minsan, parang we're under the impression, di ba, yung last guy, yung nice guys finish last or whatnot, di ba? Pero, pwede, di ba?
Mhm.
Pero pwede rin na ganito.
Yeah.
Pwede rin na maganda yung energy exchange, right? Yung good karma,
Yes.
'di ba? So
Yes. I mean, you may finish last, but you finished. So that's the whole point. You cross the line. You're still good.
you're you're
So
you're reminding me of our bull runner
yes.
experience, bro. Like tayo yata ay nasa pinakadulo.
But it still counts. We
Yeah,
did
man.
42. We did 42K. So that's
until
what counts.
until now, man, that is still the most painful and grueling
Yes.
thing I've done in my life, bro.
That was the hardest. That's hard. I couldn't like when we were training, I could not imagine like how hard that course was. So yeah, that
Parang,
was
'di ba? Magkakasunod-sunod tayo eh. 'Di ba? We finished
mm,
like nasa 7 hours tayo, pare. So parang,
mm-hmm.
yun yung nare-recall ko eh, right? Sino
Yep.
po nandun? Ranvel, you,
Anvil, Kel.
Kel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Tapos was no, I don't think May was part of it. Was
No,
it?
no.
No.
Parang hindi yan. No, no, no.
No.
But
I think
nagkataon
yeah, it
lang.
was
Like,
us.
I didn't know that you guys joined, right? But yun nga, nung sa training, and yun, nakita ko na. Tapos, nakakatawa kasi sabay-sabay talaga. Parang we were all, itong mga bugoy na to, na umiinom at
Oh, change.
who tried to wing it. O, ayan. Sama-sama rin sa ending.
uh but that's a
That's
great
great, man.
experience. I
Yeah.
mean,
Are you gonna do it again?
that's
Are you gonna do a full marathon again? I want to.
May.
Yeah.
I do. I mean, eventually,
Yeah.
eventually. I mean, I want Archer to see me do one at
Yeah.
least.
Yeah.
But he'll be
And I
like,
want to
oh,
do it, parang finish better, right? Like,
yes,
to me, time is not really important, but like, can I walk the next day or can I walk? Alam mo yun, parang can I
yeah,
actually finish? Kasi before, yeah, of course, sa finish line, syempre, pare, talagang naiiyak na ako. Lahat, kasi pare, di ba, grabe yung bugbog,
mm,
man. As in, it's not just physical pain, it's mental pain,
mental,
right?
yes,
Diba? So, but yung nga sabi ko, like, if I'm gonna do this again, I wanna really be able to enjoy.
yes, that's
And
true.
and yun na nga, then of course, for my boys, although my eldest saw me nung first,
Mhm.
but syempre he was so young, right? So hindi rin
Yeah.
mag-register yon. So ang dream ko din, ako naman dream ko ultra. I'll do an
Whoa,
ultra marathon.
well, that's wild, man.
Tapos they'll see it.
Yeah.
Actually, I want them to see not just the race, but the training, the discipline. Like what you're
Mhm.
doing. Like, di ba, now, watching NBA, writing, and everything. So Archer seeing everything. And he's now putting two and two together.
Mhm.
So ito pala yon. You do this, so you'll be able to do this and that. So ako, yun din yung gusto kong i-instill sa kids ko. Because to be honest, until now, I struggle with discipline, man. Like,
Mhm.
that is one of my biggest weaknesses. No, so that's why I got into running. Because I hate running.
Mhm.
Diba? So parang I just wanted to prove to myself, no, hindi. You can beat this. Na hindi porket tingin mo hindi mo to gusto or you may have not liked it before.
But
But now, like now I still run. I'm back to
Mhm.
running, diba? So, yun, again, it's going back to your point then earlier. It's now really for my kids, for them to
Mhm.
see, for me to
Yep.
be that example. Because I'm still part of that old school dad, diba? Na parang nagagalit or whatever, running my mouth and all that. So I have those gaps.
Mhm.
But I'm also realizing, yun nga, na example, leading by example is the most effective and in fact maybe the only effective way
Yeah.
of actually getting to, the
To
lessons
them.
or the
Mhm.
values that you want, diba, for your kids. So, yeah, man.
It's good, man. Just keep running. Go for it.
Kailangan ko pumayat, bro. Parang yun yata yung ano ko eh.
Well, same here, man. I gotta lose weight. I think every single time just lose weight. I mean,
Yeah.
I'm not blessed to be like Sam or Tony.
You need to, you need to change what you eat. Shit. Like,
Yep.
yeah.
But eating is life, man. Eating is life. But hey,
Yeah.
it can be done, but you got to enjoy life too.
Yeah.
You can't deprive yourself.
Yeah.
Because once you do that, it's just like, okay, I'm not having fun. F
Yeah.
this. I'm
Ang
not
ano
gonna
ko
do it
ngayon,
anymore.
ang kino-convince ko yung sarili ko is like, I'm not gonna like not have pizza, but make it a reward for
Mm,
something hard
true.
rather than just like,
Just order.
oh, tsaka or kunwari, stress ka, feel good, kain ka, like binge stress eat on something or whatnot. Kasi obviously, hindi naman makakatulong yun.
Mm,
And parang, siguro I wanna reprogram also, like, trick my brain into thinking, reprogram my brain to thinking na, no, you can have pizza, but pizza is associated to something good,
mm-hmm.
not a
True.
trigger when something bad is
Bad.
happening. Kasi ano na
Yeah.
eh, well, I stopped drinking, by the way. So,
Hey, congratulations.
thank you, man. I owe it to Tony.
Mm.
Siya talaga, and I tell him that. We talk about it. So, nag-start ako noong January 2021. January 1, 2021. So, I'm now about to finish the year. So, I'll be a full
Ayos.
year sober. And I thought I couldn't do it, man.
Mm-hmm.
Because like drinking, substance abuse generally is such a big part of me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, my brain was like telling me, na, hindi, hindi. And even my friends and even my family, like, oh, malabo yan, parang babalik ka or whatever, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think naman they mean it like kasi you're gonna fail or what. No, it's just that
Yeah.
they just know me
They know
also,
you. Yeah.
and I really love to drink.
Mm-hmm.
But yun nga, 1 year into it, well, almost 1 year into it, and kaya siya. So you can actually, yun nga, what that has taught me is that we can really reprogram our brain. We can and our behaviors and tweak that, and yun nga, associate it like to better things.
Mm-hmm. That is true. That is true. I mean, like, I have to give it up to you, like drinking. I still drink, but then
Yeah.
I only drink on the weekends.
Mm.
I usually just drink like on a Saturday,
Okay.
either a Friday or Saturday, and then
Mm.
that's it.
That's it.
Yeah, maybe one or two glasses, and I'm good.
Hindi ako pare sa totoo lang, like I'm not advocating for people to not drink because like that's so good. Like
Mm.
really, like my wife still drinks, all my friends drink, my family drinks, and nalalasahan ko rin naman pare pag kunwari they're drinking cold beer, like shit, ang sarap niyan, bro. But it's just that there's a different reason why
Why you stop?
I stopped, and that's my
Yeah.
addiction problem, right? Like
Yes.
sabi nga nila, no, pare, moderation lang naman yan eh. What's one or two? Yun nga yung problema ko. Wala nga akong moderation. So, hindi,
Oh,
so parang, di ba, ang sabi ni Frank the Tank, bro? Once it hits your lips,
it's your
bro.
lips. There you go.
So, yeah, I mean,
That's
yun yung reason ko. It's not
Mhm.
because, oh, hindi, bad yan, or what, hindi. It's just that it's just me.
no,
Personally, yeah.
which is good, is because that means you know yourself.
Hmm.
You know yourself well. You trust yourself, and that's a great part. Is not everyone is gonna acknowledge that. Is that
Hmm.
they'll always say like, yeah, in moderation, kaya ko yan. But then you really know the devil's inside is that you di kaya, di kaya talaga. So it's cool. It's cool that
Yeah.
you did that and you're doing it. So congrats on almost a year.
Thank you, man. Thank you. And I don't intend to to taste again. Like of course
Yeah.
it's like knocking, right? Uy, na-prove mo
Mm.
na sa sarili mo. Like that, there's that little voice inside me like, oh, siguro naman, pwede ka nang pumitik ng konti. Kaya mo naman pala eh, right? Parang may ganung talk eh.
uh,
But no. So, in
yeah,
fact,
that's good.
in fact, like for next year, I'm like thinking, okay, so if I've stopped drinking, so what other thing can I stop?
Mm.
So ngayon, ang zero in ko, pare, chips. Shit, man.
No, that's difficult.
Oh.
That's a tough one, my friend. But I mean, like, I'm on the same boat as you. But then, like for chips, it's only on a Friday and Saturday for
What?
me.
Really? So you have that discipline. Wow. I mean, that's awesome, bro.
It is because I want my son to know that. And
So
that's only
dun talaga no? It always goes back to that. No, we do these things
yeah. I mean, because that's the only time that we allow him to eat
to eat
chips
then. Yeah.
is Friday, Saturday, and then you weekend, but towards the during the week, no.
But with
So
Lolo and Lola.
no, no,
Nah, nice.
no, no. They don't.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
They don't. So at least he knows that. Okay,
Yeah.
he knows it as a reward for making it through the week.
Yeah. Yeah.
So he's happy. He's good.
That's cool, man. I mean, again, I'm happy that we're doing this and nakakapagkwentuhan tayo. It's been a while, man.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, like for everyone naman, it's always been a while. So it's nice to have this conversation.
Yeah. Thanks,
And
man.
thanks for being so open
Yeah.
about your stories, about what you've been through, and yun nga, like what you said then, diba? For people to see nga, na it's not all rosy, man. I
Mm-hmm.
mean, we're all the same.
Yep.
Iba-iba
Everyone
lang yung
goes.
race natin, iba-iba lang yung karera natin or whatnot. But ultimately, we're all people.
Yep. Everyone goes through the hard times.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I mean, I always say it: you live, you learn, you move on.
Yeah.
That's always my saying.
Yeah. But of course, before I let you go, man, I mean, I don't want to squeeze pa this little time that we have
Yeah.
left,
Sure.
and
Sure. Sure.
I wanted to ask you like a few questions. So the idea here is to really get some tips and tools, diba? That something
Okay.
that we can bring home, um, and get us out of that mediocrity phase or stuck phase and whatnot.
Sure.
So yeah, ayun. Sige. So first question, bro. What's the best advice that you've received?
Best advice that I've received is you can always do better. You can always do better. Um, the reason why is because people always think, pwede na yan, pwede na yan. But in your mind, you already know you could do better. So if you're already questioning yourself that, is this okay? No, it's not okay. Do better.
Okay. What's the worst advice that you've got or you received?
Worst advice, okay na yan. It's not okay. If they say okay na yan, that means it's not okay. So don't take that. Just like, okay, just redo it.
What's the best thing that you've done for yourself itong 2021?
Best thing I've done for myself during 2021 is exercise. Exercise because it obviously good for the body, but it's also great for the mind.
For 2022, what's your goal? What do you want to accomplish for next year?
2022 is I think I want to be able to maybe get stronger is because before the whole lockdown, before the whole pandemic, I was really going hard on the CrossFit, and I was actually supposed to do like a I was supposed to enter like some competition. So yeah, throwdown ish. Yeah, I think it was a throwdown. So maybe get back into that shape
Mm.
where
Mm.
that I could do like 100 burpees in less than 10 minutes.
Without puking.
Yes. But I mean, I do the CrossFit here at home. I mean, we do have the Echo bike,
Yeah.
so that does help. But yeah, maybe get back into that shape. I mean, honestly, I've never been the type to be like all buffed out or
Mm.
get the abs. That has never been my goal. It's like okay, when people I want people to look at me like, oh, he's strong.
Mm. Yeah.
Not like because I'm buff. Then it's like, oh, he's strong.
Hindi
But
naman
no,
kailangan may abs parate, di ba?
no, no, no. You gotta enjoy. Like you gotta enjoy like some chips or some fries or something.
Mm.
So that's the
Yeah.
goal.
What are the three things that have contributed the most to your success and happiness?
Um Three things contribute to my success and happiness. God, obviously. That's the first. Second would be family. And third would be uh, my friends, the people that I work with. I mean, Tony, Sam, Gino, Tony at Ide, Boom. So those are the peeps that keep me going, and I can attribute my success to that. Yeah, yeah, support. Yeah. Everyone needs that if they don't realize it.
Last question, bro. Anong karunungan, like, or anong wisdom, like, that you could, share with us, as a gift, no, as a present, something that we can bring, to move forward. Again, get us out of that mediocrity. I mean, you said it, of course, with the advice that you've received already, right? Yung wag na yung pwede na yan, like, do better and all that.
Mhm.
So maybe there's that wisdom that you could add to that.
Mm, the wisdom that I'd like to add, that I'd like to leave, it's probably just, you know, be proud of yourself. Be proud of yourself no matter what you're doing. It may be hard, but you're going through it. And every single step you're taking is a step forward. It's never a step back. Um, just don't give up on yourself. You will always be your hardest critic. You'll always be your toughest opponent. So be proud of yourself, love yourself, and yeah, there. I think that's what a lot of people would need. I mean, it may be difficult to also do, because I know there's a lot of mental health issues, but it always starts with yourself, and don't be afraid to ask for help from your support group. Don't be afraid. Don't never be afraid, is because they'll love you no matter what, and they'll always take care of you. So there, you
Maraming
live, you learn.
salamat, bro.
Oh, you live,
Yeah.
you learn, you move on.
Yeah. Yeah. Maraming salamat, man. And again, thank you for being so open. Thank you for being so gracious, in sharing, 'di ba?
Anytime, man.
Maraming salamat. No, I really, really super, super appreciate this. And I'm sure marami rin, will get the same value that I got with you tonight. So thank you.
No, no, no. Thank you.